Okay, if you've ever typed your address into Zillow and watched a number pop up, stop right there for a second, because what I'm about to show you could change how you think about your home's value completely. That number on your screen, it might be way off, not a little off, in some cases, tens of thousands of dollars off. I'm Tony with eXp Realty here in Tampa, and in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what your home is actually worth in 2026, not what an algorithm guesses it's worth. And here's why this matters so much to you. If you're even thinking about selling, that gap between the online estimate and the real number can cost you. List too high and your home sits on the market. List too low and you're leaving real money on the table. So let's dig in. I'll walk you through how home values really work right now, what's actually happening in the Tampa market today, and exactly how you can get a real accurate number for your house for free. Let's go. Alright, let's start with the Zestimate because it's usually the first thing people check, and it's exactly where the confusion starts. Here's the deal. Zillow's Zestimate is built from public records, tax data, and recent sales in your area. It's a computer model. It updates automatically, and sure, it can be a decent starting point. But here's what it doesn't know. It doesn't know you renovated the kitchen last year. But here's what it doesn't know. It doesn't know you renovated the kitchen last year. It doesn't know about the crack in the pool deck, or that your neighbor's lot backs up to a busy road and yours doesn't. And right now, that gap matters more than ever. According to Zillow's own data, the average home value across Tampa is sitting right around $375,000. And that figure is actually down a few percent compared to a year ago. But here's where it gets interesting. Redfin, which tracks actual closed sales instead of computer estimates, shows the median sale price over the last few months closer to $450,000. And that number was up slightly year over year. Two different sources, two very different numbers, both describing the same market. That's exactly the problem with leaning on one automated estimate. It's an average, and your home isn't an average. It's a specific property on a specific street with its own condition, upgrades, and story. With its own condition, upgrades, and story. So if the Zestimate isn't the full picture, what actually determines your home's value? Great question. It comes down to four things, and once you know them, you'll never look at an online estimate the same way again. Number one, location. And I don't just mean the city. I mean your specific street, your school zone. Whether you're on a quiet cul-de-sac or a busy through street, and whether you back up to water, conservation land, or a commercial strip. Here in Tampa, two homes a half mile apart can have very different values, just because of flood zone designation or how close they are to downtown. Number two, condition and updates is not the same as one from the 90s, even if the square footage is identical. Buyers right now are paying close attention to roof age, HVAC age, and whether a home has hurricane-rated windows or impact shutters. Those details show up in the price. Number three, recent comparable sales, or what we call comps. This means homes similar to yours in size, age, and condition that have actually sold in your neighborhood within the last 3 to 6 months. Not homes that are currently listed, homes that closed. Asking prices are wishes, sold prices are facts. And number four, current market conditions. Tampa is shifting right now. Homes are taking longer to sell than they did a couple of years ago, with typical homes going under contract in around 38 days. Inventory has grown, which means buyers have more choices. Pricing your home correctly from day one matters more than ever, because an overpriced home that sits ends up chasing the market down with price cuts, and that's the scenario that actually costs you money. Here's a quick example, and this one's a good one. Say two homes on the same street are both 3-bedroom, 2-bath, around 1,800 square feet. One has an updated kitchen, a new roof, and impact windows. The other has the original 1998 kitchen and an aging roof. Even though they're the same size, in today's market, that gap in condition alone can mean a difference of $40,000 to $60,000 in value. An algorithm looking at square footage and bedroom count would treat those two homes as nearly identical. Someone who actually walks through both of them would not. And that's exactly the kind of thing I help homeowners figure out. Now let's talk about what's actually happening in the Tampa market right now, because this affects how you should be thinking about your home's value today. As of mid-2026, average home values across the broader Tampa Bay area are sitting in the high $300,000 range, with a lot of variation by neighborhood. Areas like downtown Tampa and New Tampa are running well into the $400,000 and $500,000 range. Other neighborhoods are more affordable, and values can shift block by block. Homes are sitting on the market longer than they did during the frenzy a couple of years ago. That's not necessarily bad news for you. It just means buyers are being more careful, comparing more options, and negotiating harder. Homes that are priced right, show well, and are marketed well are still moving fast. Homes that are overpriced are the ones sitting for months. And this is exactly where having someone in your corner makes the difference. A new development going in nearby, a school rating change, or a flood zone remapping can move your value up or down in ways a national algorithm simply will not catch. Tracking that kind of thing for the neighborhoods around Tampa is what I do every single day. And it's exactly why a number from an app and a real number can look so different. All right, let's run through a few questions I get asked all the time about home values here in Tampa, because chances are you're wondering about at least one of these. First, how accurate is my Zestimate really? Zillow says its estimates have a median error rate of just a few percent for homes that are currently listed for sale, but that error rate roughly doubles for homes that aren't actively on the market. So if your home isn't listed, the number you're seeing could easily be off by tens of thousands of dollars in either direction. Second, if you add a pool or do a big renovation, does that guarantee a higher value? Not automatically. It depends on the project and the neighborhood. A pool can be a real asset here in Florida, but if most homes around you don't have one, it might not return what you put into it, dollar for dollar. This is exactly the kind of thing a proper valuation accounts for, and I cover it in more detail in another video about which renovations actually pay off before you sell. And third, should you just wait for the market to get better before selling? That depends on your goals, your timeline, and what's happening with interest rates and inventory in the meantime. I go into that in a separate video too. But here's the short version. The right time to sell is different for every homeowner, and it's worth a real conversation rather than a guess based on a headline. So how do you actually get an accurate number for your home? Not a guess, a real one. Here's exactly how I do it. It's called a comparative market analysis, or CMA, and here's what goes into it. First, I pull the most recent comparable sales in your immediate area. Homes similar in size, age, and condition that have closed in the last few months. Then I adjust for differences. Maybe your home has a pool and the comp doesn't. Maybe the comp has a renovated kitchen and yours doesn't yet. Each of those differences moves the number up or down. Next, I look at active listings. What's currently competing with your home if you were to list today? And I look at homes that didn't sell, because those tell you just as much as the ones that did. If a few homes near you expired without selling at a certain price point, that's valuable information too. Put all of that together and you get a realistic price range. Not a single number pulled from an algorithm, but a range grounded in what's actually happening on the ground in your neighborhood, right now, in 2026. And here's the best part. This doesn't cost you anything, and it doesn't obligate you to anything. It's just information. Information that's yours to keep. Whether you're thinking about selling next month or simply want to know where you stand today, having the real number is always better than guessing. So here's my advice. Don't make any decisions about your home, whether that's selling, refinancing, or just understanding your equity, based on a Zestimate or an online estimate alone. Those tools are fine for a rough idea, but they're just not built to know your home the way someone on the ground does. If you want a real, accurate valuation for your home, based on what's actually selling in your neighborhood right now, click the link below. I'll put together a free, no obligation home valuation, walk you through exactly how I got to that number, and answer any questions you have about the Tampa market. No pressure, no strings attached. I'm Tony with eXp Realty, and I'm here to help. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.